Alright guys, welcome back to Formula 1 news. With the Monaco Grand Prix coming up this weekend, big updates coming through from multiple teams. Mercedes are finally bringing their big upgrade into action, and rumours emerging it's somewhat more underwhelming in terms of lap time than many would have expected. 0.2 of a second they would have expected to unlock in Imola, maybe something similar here in Monaco. Very much enjoyed to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Hit the like button if you enjoy. Subscribe if you're new as always, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm away for a few days, the videos are going to be a bit shorter, not the best lighting setup in here, but we'll make it work, and I might be a little bit later than usual on some of the updates, but I'll try and do my best. First of all here, McLaren, a brand new livery for this weekend's celebrating the Triple Crown. We've got the papaya, the white and the black. Honestly looks pretty damn good. I think some angles look worse than others, but this one is pretty nice to be honest, so I'm glad to see that for the weekends. Also from the Gazzetta, we'll come back to them in a second, confirming recent reports that Honda will indeed partner with Aston Martin. We know that Honda came in and they said, look, we're going to make engines for 2026, but they didn't say who they're going to make them for. Are they going to have their own team? What's the plan? But the plan is now clear. They're going to partner with Aston Martin. That's how it's going to be. This makes a lot of sense for both parties. Honda need a team to supply. They already said they were going to make the engines. They've got to do it for someone. And Aston Martin want to become self-sufficient. They want to be their own team. They don't want to have to rely on Mercedes and others. So that's their plan going forwards. Big news, I think, when this gets confirmed. Apparently very shortly this is going to become official. And this is apparently now an absolutely done deal, and it works potentially for both parties. I do still wonder whether Honda could even look at buying out the Alfa Tauri outfit and seeing if that could work for them as well. But also Aston Martin, we know that Alonso, here's a fractured history, let's just say, with Honda. That could be returning if Alonso's still around in this team in 2026 and beyond. Could cause some problems there as well. But you'd imagine at that point they would hopefully have everything smoothed over. Quickly on Ferrari, actually, both drivers were competing in this, I think, Monaco yearly football match they do. Shortly before the Grand Prix itself comes around, Leclerc took a bit of a tumble but was okay, but actually Carlos Sainz picked up a bit of an injury to his upper thigh, and I guess his lower thigh actually, but apparently it's only a bruise, because let's be honest, right, if you, around Monaco of all circuits, if you're going to have any sort of imprecise movements based on some sort of minor injury to your leg, it's not the ideal circuit for that to be the case, right, because any tiny mistake can be the end of your qualifying and Grand Prix. Rumour has it though, it's just effectively a bruise, so with any luck he's all okay, and it's fine for the Grand Prix weekend, but that is a classic Ferrari turn of events, would it not be, for both of the drivers to somehow get injured in the run-up to the Grand Prix itself. Quickly as well on Ferrari and the Lewis Hamilton discussion, because it wasn't just the Daily Mail talking about this. Gazzetta themselves said and also reported that Hamilton has received an offer to join Ferrari, so I don't imagine this is entirely without base. It might be way off the mark in terms of what's actually going to happen, but and I don't think Hamilton will join Ferrari. I don't really see it making sense for either party, to be honest, in terms of what they need for the near term. But yeah, apparently this is happening, because not just Daily Mail said it, but also now Gazzetta is saying it, so it's very possible there has been some sort of offer given out there from Ferrari to Hamilton. Whether anything comes of that is unlikely. Toto Wolff has denied this absolutely and said, look, he's going to sign an extension with Mercedes. These rumours come up every 2 years. None of it is true. We'll discuss the contract renewal normally, and I'm convinced that we'll find each other on the numbers at the end of the day. So, he reckons Hamilton's going to stay around. That's what I imagine will be the case as well. But you do have to wonder, right, because all these rumours are only rumours until they turn out to be true, right? Everyone denies the rumours until they come true. So I don't think it will come true this time, but it might do. Who really knows? It would be absolute madness if it did, let's be honest. Speaking of Hamilton and Mercedes, he will be honestly basing a big part of the next couple of years at this team on what happens with this big upgrade. We heard for some time now Toto Wolff, George Russell saying we're unlocking more time in the wind tunnel now than we did over the entirety of the winter. Begs the question what they were doing over the winter, but also you would have thought their first big upgrade on that journey would be pretty big step in terms of lap time. That's not what the rumours are currently indicating. They believe, or at least this is the rumour coming out of Giuliano De Chester at Formula Uno, that they would have unlocked about 0.2 of a second at Imola with these upgrades. Now in Monte Carlo, in Monaco, it can be a very different story. Who knows how well these upgrades are going to work there, if they work well at all. And we do understand that this is like a first step type thing, right? This is what the article says. The package is worth about 0.2 of a second. They're bringing it both cars to, well, the W14s to Monaco with that same setup, but it's a very different track, right? Imola compared to Monaco. You're probably not going to get a great picture from Mercedes' point of view in terms of how good this actually is. And even Toto Wolff goes on to say, like, okay, firstly, yeah, 0.2 of a second, it's going to be a very different track to Imola. And Toto Wolff says it doesn't really matter what happens this weekend. It's not really going to determine how much we've changed the car. Like, we rebuilt the underbody, the bodywork, the front wheel suspension, but it won't be known in Monaco whether what we've done to the car will actually do anything, because you're probably not going to see that much around a circuit like that without the time to adapt and to evolve what they're bringing to the car. But I think there's an argument to say that you might have expected a bit more from this, right? I mean, it's been talked up for some time now for Mercedes, bringing this big upgrade to Imola. This was going to be the big benchmark. And yes, they have kind of toned down over the last few weeks what they're expecting in terms of performance, but still, you could have thought maybe 3-4 tenths would have been a decent step for them. 2 tenths, if that is what they expected, and maybe what they will or will not achieve, we'll have to see, especially when we get to Spain. That's going to give a decent picture. Is somewhat underwhelming compared to where they need to be. Fact of the matter is, they're not too far off a second off Red Bull in the race pace, right? Okay, maybe it's 6, maybe it's 7 tenths, but it's still way away from the Red Bull. And if you can gain 2 tenths, okay, sure, that's decent enough. But Red Bull also gained 2 tenths in an upgrade just a couple of races ago. So I think the key point here is that Mercedes are really bringing this upgrade as a stepping stone for future developments. It's not meant to do massive amounts on its own, which maybe is underwhelming to many that expected this to be a big deal, but probably it's Spain, it's then Silverstone, maybe Canada and other races beyond in that European split. Of course, Canada an exception there, but they put it in there for some holiday reasons or whatever. That's when we might see upgrades that will put Mercedes further forward, if this actually gives them an indication in terms of what they got wrong and what they need to fix. Just one final thing to mention here on the wet tyre for this weekend, which might well be used again here in Monaco, because it's a brand new wet compound this year. They say it's way better. I'm not so convinced. We'll see. They also say that it doesn't need as much, if any, tyre warm-up, so it doesn't need to be in a tyre blanket. I don't know if that's actually gonna, is it gonna be good or bad? Who knows? The wet tyre was a big topic of conversation last year because it was basically useless, and hopefully that's not the case this year. But according to the forecast, and look, every time we look at the forecast, the race either gets cancelled because it's raining too much, or it doesn't bother raining at all. So, I'll just leave it there with no comment for now. But very much enjoyed to your thoughts in the comment section below. Not sure when I'll be able to do the next update, but I'll try over the next couple of days. Hit the like button if you enjoyed, subscribe if you're new, take care, and I'll see you next time.